Rut and River.
Yes.
Correct.
R-U-T.
I rest my beard hair on it.
And then you know you're there.
Like a nice, gentle little pillow for my beard.
Right.
And then I'm all up in it.
Oh.
I'm like Kobe beef for sharks.
Can I ask you, what made you guys call me up about, well, this?
It's what tickles our fancy.
Exactly.
Okay.
Thought the Rocky Mountains would be rockier.
John Denver is not accurate.
A guy like you, who has absolutely no clue, and I can hear it in your voice, that, I mean, you're a blank canvas. I mean, I can just start with you like from scratch.
You're going to tell me, a grown man, you're telling me what lure to use and how to fish?
You guys didn't snap your whopper plopper off either, though.
Sorry, I blew up over that.
All right, everyone, welcome back to this week's episode of the Sonic Campfire with the Rut and River Pursuits podcast. This is reality outdoor radio where our mission is to get you in the outdoors by connecting you with the people, skills, and products you can trust.
You can trust them all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Steve.
I'm Brian.
I'm Will.
Hey, I'm Ryan.
Bucky, why don't you tell us a little about this month's sponsor?
Hey, I'll tell you guys about this month's sponsor, and we're fired up for him. Smoke in the Grove. You can't get any more American than a good old barbecue competition.
Mm-hmm.
This year's Red Hot competition is being brought to you by Kenny's Market, your hometown market,
Love that market.
and is being held July 26th and 27th in Spring Grove, Pennsylvania. Come on out Friday night to kick things off with the First Responder Cup, People's Choice Wing Competition, and cap off the night with some live entertainment by Brittany Opperman. And you'll not want to miss the main event on Saturday, where teams will be competing in a Kansas City Barbecue Society sanctioned state championship event. The winner qualifies for the Jack Daniels World Championship in Lynchburg, Tennessee, and the American Royale in Kansas City, Missouri.
My mouth's watering.
It's like a Royale cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Teams will also be competing in the People's Choice Pork Contest. This colossal weekend will be capped off by a performance by Velveeta.
Mm-hmm.
Noise.
Get all the details by searching Smoke in the Grove on Facebook and Instagram, as well as the website smokeinthegrove.com.
So we're in
Stevie,
the middle.
don't just jump right in there.
I did.
We were just talking about burn ends. I
Smoking the Grove.
gotta
All right.
enjoy them a little bit.
Enjoy your burn ends there for a second.
Ooh, speaking of that, Pick, throw me another piece of that bologna down. I'm hungry now.
Oh, seriously.
Yeah, slice him off a piece of that with your Underhill
Forged
forged
knife.
knife.
His forged knife.
Yeah.
It's not.
We heard all about that.
With the tang.
You know it.
Mhm. So July is All Things America month, right?
It sure is, bud.
And we've been talking about all things American, right?
Have you?
Obviously.
As the name would indicate.
And tonight's guest is in-house, which doesn't often happen.
What?
In-house.
He is here.
Can I
snuck
take my
him in.
blindfold off now?
You can take your blindfold off.
What did you do, Stevie?
And this is...
Look who it is.
I'm really excited for this because there's very few things when I think of all things American. There's one thing that pops up in my mind almost immediately.
And we stand up next to you in the Thursday
Bingo.
today.
Bingo. And our guest is going to really
'Cause there ain't no
exemplify
doubt
that.
I love this land. I can't not stop.
Come on, Lee
I'm sorry.
Greenwoods.
Get it out.
The Lee Greenwoods is
It's-
overtaking me.
He does that. He certainly
You know,
does
every Sunday
Yeah.
for 13 weeks while I was on Paris Island,
Yeah.
we got to sing that.
Did you?
Seriously.
We sure
that.
did.
Really?
That's how we closed the church service.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty
Little
cool.
Lee
Good on
Greenwood.
you.
Cool.
Yeah. So our guest this week is Adam Gagne, and Adam is the chapter coordinator for the Central Pennsylvania region of Heroes on the Water.
Boom.
Adam, welcome.
Welcome, Adam.
Welcome
Thank
in
you.
studio,
Yeah.
bud.
Thank
Yeah.
you, guys.
Yeah.
I really do appreciate this.
For that reason, because he operates out of Central Pennsylvania, I call him Gagne East.
Gagne.
That's
Yeah.
Appropriate.
as opposed to the Kardashians.
It's the
Kanye
West.
The Will
See what he did
with
there?
Will with the pop culture references.
All the time. It's nonstop.
All the time.
Nonstop.
Even during All America Month. Adam, can you take a minute and first tell us a little bit about Heroes on the Water, and then we'd love to talk about your experience with Heroes on the Water, and how that all
your
came
pursuits.
about. But tell us about that organization.
All right, so it's a nonprofit kayak fishing trips for veterans, first responders. So I say nonprofits that way. Everybody understands that it's free to participants.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do 7 or 8 events every year.
Okay.
And we usually have a sign up on Facebook. We provide all the gear. You just show up in something you don't mind getting wet, damp. We've got, of course, we have the kayaks, we got the PFDs, we got the fishing gear, whistles. I provide the snacks, the lunch, the drinks, and the Band-Aids if you get jabbed with a hook, So, I mean, we've got everything covered. You just got to show up.
It's bound to happen with this group.
Yeah. I gathered that through the last 20 minutes.
Somebody's drawing blood.
And then I don't know how you lose a Ned rig every cast, but all
I
right.
lose 2 a cast.
Okay, all right.
It's an average.
Yeah.
A donkey rig, Ned rig. All right.
Absolutely. So what's your goal? What's the mission of Heroes on the Water?
My personal goal is a smile.
Mm-hmm.
If you get these people to connect back, you get the moment where father and son catch that first fish. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So just get them, and it's really a tranquil. You guys have been, and it's very tranquil on that water in the kayak. So much more than you're on a boat and you're out there powering around. It makes it. There's a lot more to it,
So you kind of gear this towards folks that have some form of PTSD, right?
Initially, that's what the program was set up for, was any sort of disability or challenge.
Okay.
But now it's more, I want to just get vets and first responders on kayaks,
Okay. It's expanded a little bit over the years.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
Could you talk real briefly, 30 seconds, about, and you as a veteran, can you talk a little bit about what PTSD is and what that?
Well, that's
how
hard.
does that-
I mean, there's not one simple answer for that.
Yeah.
PTSD comes in so many forms, and it's not something that's just related to military.
Mm-hmm.
It's from a traumatic experience. No matter, you could be a paramedic and you see a bunch of kids that passed away in a car accident.
Yeah.
So that's real hard to, it's just, that's a hard thing. And PTSD doesn't show on the outside typically.
Sure,
So,
sure.
And I'm never going to ask somebody if they think we're there just for the challenged or the disabled, or
Right.
I'm never going to ask and say we're not. Well, and first off, we're not there just for them anymore. We're there for everybody.
Right.
And I would never ask. So if
What's
this
your
is-
disability?
Yeah,
What?
Right.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
What ails you?
There's no way.
No.
Yeah.
Well, with this group, the good news is you wouldn't have to ask. Most of us, we wear our
It's on the
disabilities
outside.
our
on the
sleeve.
outside, right? Yeah, just like yeah.
You realize that pretty quick.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah.
said.
I read the room pretty good when I walked in. I figured, we got the beer, we got the bologna. So
You heard the intro.
So yeah, unfortunately, I mean, I really can't have a good answer.
Yeah.
But I do notice there is a little sense of relief after they come off the water.
Why is that? What
The tranquility, the serenity, the you're doing this by yourself.
Mhm.
We're not going to paddle the kayak, we're not going to drive the boat for you, and to catch a fish is a bonus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then to do it with family members.
Are these folks typically anglers, or are they just?
They could be. Sometimes they show up with their own gear, and
Mhm.
sometimes they show up not to be a smart ass, missing an arm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's great. I want these guys here.
Right.
I want to see that smile. That's all I want out of these people, is for them to get a smile at least once that day.
Outstanding.
So typically, how long does an event last? Is it an all-day event? Is it half a day? Or it depends on where you're at?
Yeah, it kind of depends on stuff. Like right now with the weather the way it is, we'll start putting them on the water at 8 o'clock. And usually when we come off at lunch around 11 to 11:30, 12 o'clock, a lot of them don't want to go back out.
Yeah.
It's they're tired.
Yeah, there's
they're
really-
not used to it like us.
Yeah.
I mean, between the tournaments and fishing all the other times that I go,
Sure.
we get being on the water. Like I'm fishing tomorrow, fishing Saturday. So
Yeah.
being on the water from 8 to 12 is going to be like, man, I got to go already.
Yeah.
You know? So
So if there's no real structure, it's they go out there, they have a good time. If they're hot, if they're tired, they come off the water, hang out, relax.
Yep. And I'll tell you, I've had many comments where they've gone to other veteran events that are structured, and they like coming back to our events simply because of the, I don't want to say the lack of structure, because we do have a safety factor involved.
Sure.
But, you know, they love it that they can come back. We send them out at 8. They might come back at 9:30, go to the bathroom, grab a drink or a snack, head back out, come back at noon.
Yeah.
And then maybe go back out, or just say, hey, do you mind if I quit? Oh, hell no, I don't mind. I'm here for you. You could stay here till 3, 4 o'clock. I don't really care.
Yeah, and I'm sure that adds to the relaxation of just the day, of just being so, casual, if you will, and giving them a good sense of relaxation while they're there.
Yeah, it's not like show up at 8 o'clock. We're going to have you fitted for your PFDs at 8:10, and you're going to be on the water at 8:20. 8:25, you're going to be far enough out. We're going to start having you cast. At 9:30, we'll take a break for a drink. And dude, just come on. I mean, we welcome everyone.
That's awesome.
And the way the weather's been, how do you keep them from floating downstream?
All right, so last year, we had to cancel 2 events because of the river conditions, especially our float trip. It's one of our most popular events because we put in at West Fairview, and we've had up to 33 people for that one.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, I mean, well, we go to Octorara Lake.
Yeah.
You guys know about this. I tell you all the time.
Yeah.
But Octorara Lake, I think we were at 53. And then the Shanks Mare event they stopped selling tickets at 150.
Wow.
Wow.
We had, I think, 82 or 83 kayaks, laid out by 1 o'clock. By 2:30, they were all gone. And by 6 o'clock, they were all stowed.
Wow.
So
That's an operation.
Yeah. How many people volunteer in your chapter?
quite a bit.
Yeah.
You know, some people will only come 2 or 3 times a year. Some people are there all the time. And I've got a leadership team, very good, a good leadership team that I work with.
Mm-hmm. That's important in something like that, too.
Yeah, and I mean, because I look at you guys, and the 8 or 9 of you guys impressed me a lot. Because I first
Stop it.
Okay.
Will you?
No, go on.
You guys, yeah. I mean, I met you guys first at the outdoor show when I was working the Hobie booth.
Yeah.
And from there, it's, I try to let you know, especially you, Will, when I got something going on, and you guys have come to the breakfasts and stuff like that, and I've seen catfish at the fishing shows. We do all them flea market fishing shows over the summer, over the wintertime, just to promote ourselves.
Yep.
Is there anyone in the? How many years have you been doing this?
I think this is my 5th year as the chapter coordinator. I think so.
Is there anyone in particular that stands out? That someone that is.
Oh, you want me to single one person out?
Or
you want me to lose friends? I mean, geez.
No, someone that's come on a trip that that has
touched
you. Yeah, touched your heart, or someone that you really got it. This is what I'm here for.
No, I value them all the same.
Yeah,
yeah. Honestly, there's really not. If anything, it's probably the kids that touch with their dad.
Yeah.
Right.
That's cool.
So you have a So there's a family.
Yeah, we're not strictly for just the veteran or first responder. It is wives and children,
whoever.
Really? Because at one point we weren't getting a lot of participation, so we went ahead and opened it up to everybody. Because I'm one time I cooked a meal for 32 people.
What was it?
What was it?
Yeah.
Oh, it was potato salad, brats.
Filet mignons.
I make this thing called a Boilermaker brat, where you take a beer, you boil your bratwurst, and as soon as that beer is almost, you get that thick liquid, you're not reducing it to dry state, right? Pull the brats off, throw some sliced onions in it, saute and caramelize those, shoot it with a shot of bourbon right at the end, and then throw in a little bit of cream cheese to give that to smooth it out. And then grill your brats.
Will might eat those onions.
Beer, bourbon, cream cheese, brats. You can keep your sous vide, bud. I'm going with him.
Right, yeah. I'm not a fan of this. So I was before I went to this engineering track, I was in the kitchens for 27 years.
Were you?
Really?
Yeah, I started cooking when I was probably 13. I started in a bakery, washing washing pans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And eating cookies.
I got to check.
No, we did donuts, and I'll tell you, this body,
even better.
this body's donuts, maple syrup, and peanut butter. Let me tell you.
I'm looking up the next event right now.
Well, fortunately, through this, we've gone through and gotten volunteers to cook us lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So I have to provide the lunch for the float trip, and that one is typically sandwiches. I'll order sandwiches from Giuseppe's up there in, I don't know, it's not Lemoyne, it could be Camp Hill. It's under the.
I think it's Camp Hill.
Yeah.
Might even be
so
Mechanicsburg.
Good stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, and so I cooked all that stuff. I cooked that potato salad. We did, I don't know, I had a bunch of stuff, and no one showed up except us guides, which was nice. It was good for us just to hang out.
For food.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hang out for the food at lunch. So, and we all got the chance to fish together, not in any kind of, it's hard for all of us to get together between this schedule, the tournament schedule, pre-fishing, and,
Do you feel a lot of added pressure day of the events when you've got the guys out there and their families and their kids are there and you're like, I need these guys to catch some fish? Like,
no, I need them guys to smile. Seriously.
Okay, so
that is why
it comes back to that.
That is it. It all comes back to me and them having a good time.
So they don't have an
really
expectation that they're going to go out and land a
Oh, of course
4-pounder
they
or
do.
whatever. They
don't
do.
You, don't you? When you catch a small sunfish?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah.
But you're okay. I mean, they're okay with.
You put it into perspective when they come back. You tell them, hey, this is fishing, not catching.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, so if they come off the water and they don't catch a fish and they're smiling, that's worth the whole day. Absolutely.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, to me that's what makes the day. If somebody else, there are guides that show up that are very competitive and want to catch fish.
Yeah.
And you get a read on you learn to read these guys a little bit, Sure. And the competitive ones that stand out are typically grunts.
Huh.
Right?
And I'd say that. Look at me.
But yeah, so I can pair them up with the guides that really know how to catch fish.
Yeah.
And
that's clearly not me. So
Yeah.
he looked away when he said that.
So, Adam, you could be volunteering at a soup kitchen, or you could be building homes for Habitat for Humanity or something, you could be spending your time volunteering doing something else. But
monsoon cleanup,
any number of things.
Right.
But you're not. You're volunteering as the chapter coordinator for Heroes on the Water. What is it that draws your heart to that?
Because of my passion for kayak fishing. I've been kayak fishing for 12 years. Cut my teeth on Lynnhaven Inlet, Rudy Inlet, down there in Virginia Beach on stripers, flounder, bluefish, which is, I think, cobia fishing. But
man.
I tried for 4.5 years for cobia. I never caught it. We would be out there with a 4-aught circle hook, 8-aught circle hook. I end up with a 12, 14-inch croaker. So that ended up being my name, was Captain Croaker on all the message boards down there. So, yeah, you want to go catch croaker, let's go. I got it.
That's perfect. Did they drag you out on boats, or were you able to get into them?
No, this is all inshore fishing there.
Really?
Yeah, and they do the mothership and out of Delaware Paddle Sports down there.
Okay.
Yeah. We talked to them about that. I think about Lynnhaven in particular.
Gotcha.
I believe, those guys. Yeah. But so that it's just
the
loving
kayak
fishing,
and it's the tranquility that myself I get when I'm just out there fishing. Like I'm really looking forward to tomorrow morning. I'm only going for 5 hours, 4 or 5 hours, and I need it. So
what's going through your mind when you're kayak fishing?
Depends. If you're on fish, you're looking for the next possibility. You're looking for that little eddy that's rising, or that little disturbance that rising. If you're in some good smooth water, or you could just be thinking about my wife or the kids, or damn, I remember doing this when I was on the boat. And you sit there, and then you're like 150 yards away from where you want to be because you either floated past it, paddled past it, or something. Your mind can wander. You don't have to pay attention to RPMs, overheating, a rock that you're going to hit with the prop or the jet, or it's just you hit something with the kayak. And I've got a Hobie. I've perched myself on them pedal drives, so you got to kind of sit up, and move around, try to knock yourself off of it.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I mean, you just let your mind wander.
It's got to be similar to like what I experience in a tree stand.
I was
Forging
just
knives.
going to say
It's
that.
the same kind of thing. And when I'm forging knives, when I'm forging knives, I'm really, I'm dialed in. I'm
Not
paying
wandering
attention
at all.
100%. But like people, my wife especially has asked me, I've sat from sun up to sundown archery hunting. She's like, "What do you think about when you're in the tree?" And I'm like, "Huh."
I don't think she meant
I'm not
that.
really sure.
I think she was like, "What are you thinking being up in the?"
Oh, that might have been what she meant. That's not how I took the question, though.
What were you thinking being in the tree?
You're a glasses half full kind of guy. I'm pretty sure.
But anyway, no, but like when you think about it, it's like I'm not sure what I thought about. But while you're in the moment, you're thinking about everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
It's everything, yet it's nothing. It's just everything's shut off, but everything's on at 100%.
And
It's
4 or 5
very,
hours
very-
can clock by
Huh.
Yeah,
much
yeah.
faster than 4 or 5 hours
yeah.
at work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and participants come back and say like, "Wow, that was fast."
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it is. It does go fast. It's that relaxed atmosphere.
Very cool.
What was your first kayak?
A
14
Wilderness Systems ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've got one. I've got two of them actually. I think they're the original mold, and I went kayak fishing with a friend. 2 weeks later, at the time, I had a 27-foot Wellcraft Martinique. 2 weeks later, after that fishing trip, that boat was at the broker on the trailer going up for sale. Hell yeah.
Really?
Let me tell you, you're out there on that boat and that engine pops, you're like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
You're out there on the kayak, that engine pops.
Yeah.
You don't have a
Nothing,
problem.
You don't do anything.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
just keep
if
paddling.
you got a bad engine, you got more problems than just being on the boat,
Yeah.
You got to paddle to shore.
Yeah. So,
Jump in the water and hit the release valve.
yeah. I mean, geez, it really is not. Yeah, it was a no-brainer because my first trip was a cobia fishing trip.
I
And
got to hear about it.
We went out.
That's
a
a bucket list fish
I didn't
for
even
me.
catch a croaker, so
Really?
it was nothing special. But just the relaxing nature of it just turned me completely right around, and I got rid of the boat.
So how do you? So you went? Someone took you kayak fishing.
Yep.
And that's what you're.
Yep.
Enough of this boat stuff.
Yeah, yep. So I went down to the Morale, Welfare, and Recreation Department, and they were actually giving these boats away.
What?
Really?
So I grabbed two of these kayaks, and I mean, they are beat up. That one handle would be broken off of one, and, none of the eyelets were there and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But back in 2005,
There weren't a whole lot of.
there
options,
wasn't a
really.
lot of stuff, and it was like before Yak Attack or Yak Gear, and before a lot of these like Ascends or Vibe, and
Yeah.
and I'm not putting these.
Yeah.
I'm not. There's no such thing as a bad. Well, there is one thing as a bad kayak.
What's that?
A kayak has to do one thing.
Float.
That's float. Exactly. Right? So if somebody says, "What's a good kayak?" I say a floating kayak. I might have a Hobie. The guy next to me might have a Vibe, and the guy next to him might have an Ascend. Hey, I'll tell you what.
Float.
It floats and you're on the water, you're doing the right thing.
And then when they ask the follow-up question, so which ones are no good? And usually like the ones that are sunken
That don't
at the
float.
bottom.
Yeah. Yep.
The mini reefs.
You spent some time in the service.
Yep.
Didn't
I
you?
did 20 years. I enlisted in 87, went to boot camp, and then I went to what they call an A school for cooking. And I'd already had 2 years of tech school in the high school I went to for cooking. But the funniest thing I could tell you, we were at a training in that school, and they said, "Who wants to learn more about submarines?" So I look at my buddy, and we were both coming the same day. We both left from the same state, and we raised our hands, said, "All right, let's see what it's about." Next thing you know, I got this dentist appointment. They're pulling my wisdom teeth.
Oh.
They're going to psych. I'm taking all these tests. And finally, I'm like, why am I getting all this stuff? And they're like, "Are you going to submarines?" I said, "No, I want to learn about submarines." "Well, you're going to learn about them now. I mean, you ain't got no choice."
No way.
Yeah.
You're going to learn a whole lot about
That
it.
was a loaded question.
Yeah. So then I spent.
It's one of those examples of when you are told, just don't ever raise your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
Navy.
breathing.
Never again volunteer yourself. Yeah, I was a young sailor. I didn't know anything. So, but yeah, I did submarines the first 10 years, and then I got picked up in the flag community, and that's like generals and admirals and stuff like that. And I did 3 different types of submarines in those 10 years. Chased deserters for a couple years. Now that was a lot of fun.
What's that?
Stop.
Somebody who leaves and
Goes
just goes.
AWOL.
Yeah, AWOL.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
How do you go
So-
AWOL on a sub?
Well, when you
There's
got to
only
come
one
into
way.
port, we don't have gardens and agriculture on the submarine body.
Just start swimming away.
Yeah.
You got to flush
So-
yourself.
I'm out of here. Put a good climbing that torpedo tube. and-
Torpedo tube me.
What?
Yeah, I haven't
don't know
always
how-
been this fine figure of a man.
I didn't know those such. That was a job in the military.
Yeah,
Like, you
special
can't
programs.
you can't just roll in here and say I went and chased people that went AWOL and not expect
thought-
to tell us a little bit about
I thought,
it.
man,
I thought Stevie's ears perked up because I thought he heard you say you were a dessert chaser.
Oh, well, that's what it looks like now, right? I mean,
He's like, tell me
Apple
more.
pie.
Pecan pie.
some Danishes.
So what do you do? So someone cheeses it and you're off after them.
Now,
Yeah, man
it takes
tracker.
some 30 days, and this was the policy back in '91 when I did this.
Yeah.
It would take them 30 days, and then they'd issue a warrant, a national warrant.
Okay.
And then we would get a copy of the warrant in the office. We would determine his hometown. We would get his page 4, I think it was, or page 2. I don't remember what it was out of the service record. And then you'd start sending letters.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, and I've
With all the contacts is page
yeah, with
4.
all yep,
It's
that
page
is
4.
that's yeah. Okay,
It's
so you're page
SRB,
4. Yep.
Service record
Yeah.
book.
Did you know that?
Yes, I do.
Oh man.
I was an SRB clerk.
Were you?
Were
Yes, I
you?
was.
He was a clerk.
Wow, a clerk,
Yeah. But
A high-ranking clerk.
but a gunner first, right?
Well, first of all, every Marine's a rifleman.
Every-
Second of all,
Every clerk snaps.
even though
in.
my primary MOS was as
MOS.
a record book clerk, I joined a unit and they froze promotions on all that stuff because they were moving everything to Kansas City. So I became
They'll do that to you.
an artilleryman. I was on the gun lines, pulling cords on the howitzers.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I would send them. But anyway,
Just send it, Bri.
anyway, sorry, I digress. And I
No,
believe Adam
no.
and I have
Yeah.
had this conversation before
Is there
because
a
he
guy
was in the
that says
Navy
Send it.
and I was in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
And everybody knows
Mhm.
the Marine Corps is just a department of the Navy.
Is
Like,
it?
we get
Okay.
it. We get it.
Maybe.
Okay.
But
Okay,
like
but-
every
all right.
department store,
Maybe
we would
Brian
be the
can have
men's
his own
department.
podcast
Okay.
sometime.
Yep. Yeah.
He knew it was
I'm-
coming.
Is
Yeah.
there is
Yeah.
there a guy that says
okay.
send it when you fire a howitzer?
Actually,
like someone
yeah.
say send it.
The forward observers, they tell you, they give you the coordinates.
What do
Send it.
they say? It is send it. Sorry,
sorry, Adam.
You-
No, it's fine. I understand. I think the SEALs would disagree with you about the men's department.
Sure. We can
So-
we can progress
You were
past
talking.
Yeah.
You were talking about being a bounty hunter for the Navy, I think, and then,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
then we
remember?
went into
Yeah. So
Men's
you,
departments.
You send
No,
out letters.
You're a man tracker.
yeah.
There you go. Well, you'd send out letters to all these addresses, and we've had like mothers or grandmothers tell us to come get this lazy ass off our couch.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Turn
yeah.
them right in.
And you're
Yeah.
like, I'll be there.
No, well, we didn't have the power of apprehension. Okay.
Oh.
So we would just, and they would be, and I was in
that
Jacksonville.
That's a superpower.
Yeah,
Can you see through walls with that?
I can. And jeans.
I was too nervous.
Um,
My apprehension would not let me.
So who would you call? Who has the power of apprehension?
Well, we
in that
would-
Case?
what we do is we'd go to
Ghostbusters.
these hotels because we'd travel a lot.
Yeah.
And we'd grab the phone books out of every hotel that we, because then we'd bring them back.
That's
Yeah.
reference material.
Yeah, exactly. Because I used it once. There was a guy in Mississippi. And we had the phone book for the area, and I looked up the florist, and I said, "Hey, this is so and so from such and such florist, and I got a bouquet of flowers for you." Who's sending me flowers? I said, "I can't tell you."
Uncle Sam.
yeah,
had
Uncle
to.
Sam. No, knock. So I said, "Are you going to be there long? Because I want to make this delivery."
Better
then
wear
I
your
called the
dress
police
blues.
department, and then they'll go by and pick it up.
Really? That's how it
Yeah.
works.
He'd take
Yeah.
the flowers to him.
Yeah.
Uncle Sam. That's oh, Stevie.
America.
Yeah. America, that's who.
Yeah, so, and then I did 10 years in the flag community. I was executive chef for the Secretary of the Navy's flag mess up there, and then I met a 3-star admiral, and
Not like a Michelin chef.
yeah, no, not like the Michelin chefs. Yes, like the Michelin chefs. It was all white linen and all that stuff.
3-star.
So I was the E6 at the time, and you'll appreciate this.
Okay.
I was the E6 at the time. This 3-star admiral says, "Hey, I want to talk to you." Okay. You can't tell him no. he sets me down. He says, "Hey, I'm going to bring you to Norfolk with me." I'm like, "Well, sir, that's really not my career path." I go back to the kitchen. No sooner than I tie my apron on, that the boss is calling me, a retired mass chief and Filipino mass chief. You don't tell the admiral no. What the you know?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So,
beep, beep, beep.
needless to say, 4 months later, I was in Norfolk. So it actually worked out nice. You know, it was
It's a great area.
Oh, yeah.
except for traffic. Yeah. So, but yeah, it worked out nice, at least promotion wise and family wise.
Sure,
and
sure.
stuff.
So when did you start kayak fishing?
2005.
So this was obviously after.
Yeah,
you
while I
were
was
out.
in Norfolk.
Okay.
Yep, I went to Norfolk in 2000. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you do any of the Back Bay down there?
No, that's all freshwater.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like so against freshwater till I moved here.
Really?
Seriously.
Really?
We lived in Greensboro, North Carolina, and I would go on
yeah?
2 fishing trips a year, and it would be going down to the beach. I wouldn't even fish anything around there.
Really?
I was so against it. Now, smallmouth is my number 2 fish that I love to catch.
Yeah.
Bluefish is my number
Can't
1.
blame you for that.
Really?
But smallmouth fishing, I
Can't
love
beat
it.
it. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, you missed out. The Back Bay is some really, really good fishing. I know it's freshwater.
Yeah,
You got to watch out for the cottonmouth. But other than that,
Yeah,
it's pretty nice.
No, yeah. I'd rather go catch the predator fish than the bait fish. You know what I mean? When you're you just being a smart ass, but you know, to me, I loved it. The red drum, the flounder, the
sure,
bluefish. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The bull drum down at Sandbridge, down at Back Bay, that pier that was there. We used to go there every Sunday night, all summer long. That's where me and my boys would go and fish. One night, my son caught the Junior Angler Award in one night, in
Really?
like 3 hours down there. Yeah.
oh, wow.
What was that?
9 species.
What?
Yep.
Jeez.
I couldn't get a line in the water. I was baiting his hook and
9
helping him.
species
Yeah,
in 3
one-
hours.
Yep.
Do you remember which 9? Let's see how many you
It would
can
be
guess. or rattle off.
speckled trout,
Okay.
weak fish, or gray trout. There's 2 of them down there.
Okay.
Spanish,
Okay.
croaker, spot.
5. Bluefish?
Might have been. I don't think bluefish are around when the spot around because I think the water's too warm.
Okay.
Maybe it's 6 species then. But either way, it was a lot. It was
Drum?
Flounder.
yeah, a small drum.
No flounder.
And I know he caught what it needed.
Well,
you
he
know?
caught a lot of fish.
He
What-
did.
What were you using for bait?
Squid.
Squid.
Yeah.
I
mean,
never have any luck
Stevie.
with squid.
This is
And here we go.
Sandbridge is where I was at,
It's
where I was catching all that stuff
on
off day-old squid.
3-day-old dead,
that we
dried
left
up,
lay
stinky squid.
Yeah. And that's where I was catching all that stuff. I caught
Squid
the reds
jerky.
and
Squid
and
jerky.
flounder.
I've never had
Turn
any
it
luck
into
with
squid jerky.
Yeah.
Coat it in salt and let it sit like in the counter or something.
Yeah.
And it helps it. Yeah.
Stays on the hook better.
Yep. Yeah. And fish bites, too. Did you use them when you were down there?
No, we didn't use any
Fish bites
It
are
was-
those.
We chunked up some mullet and used
Yeah.
the squid, and then we bought some frozen shrimp. But I think that was supposed to be for a family dinner one night. I put it
Whatever.
on the hook.
Yeah.
It was fine.
You ever fish with live shrimp?
No.
No. But when you're cobia fishing, what kind of bait? What's a
Menhaden.
cobia? Menhaden. Like
Yeah.
chunked up or
Yeah,
live?
chunked.
Really?
Yeah.
Never
I
caught a
don't think
cobia.
I've ever seen anybody sell a live menhaden. They're a filter fish, and I don't know if you can catch them and they'd live long enough to get back to, like omega proteins.
Yeah.
They scoop them all up in that big net, and they're more worried about getting the fish oil out of them back in Texas. But
Yeah.
so I don't think I've ever seen anybody sell live menhaden. I don't know if Ocean's East. That's a tackle shop that was down there on 13. You'd come across the bridge from the east shore.
Uh-huh.
And it's like 3 or 4 miles past the bridge on the left-hand side. I don't know if it's still there. I haven't been back in 10 years probably.
And I've been down 3 of the last 4 summers. So I just know at the south end of town there was a really small little quaint tackle shop, and the guy he hooked me up with all the information I could need to know. He was the one to let me know that the Back Bay is known as the home of the cottonmouth.
Well, I would have just turned around and went home. Like, okay, we're done. If I'm anywhere near where a cottonmouth could be within 100 miles, it's time to pack it
And
up.
the stuff direct in that parking lot where the pier is, directly across from that's where you can launch kayaks, but you have to go out through a chute of these reeds.
I have nightmares
in the Back Bay
when
of like 100 yards long, as wide as your kayak. I'm going almost straight up with my paddle and coming
Don't
down
even tell-
to get through that, and I'm like, there's cottonmouth within
You
3
have
or 4
no
inches
idea
of my
how many
face.
nightmares I've had thinking about you telling that story. Every time I get close, even around here, anytime I get
Some
close
reeds.
to the bank and I
Yeah.
get near some weeds, all I can think about is Ryan's cottonmouth story. It's going to jump out, and bite me on the neck.
The worst part was the first time I went through it, I got to the other end, finally was able to breathe a sigh of relief, and then reached back. I reached back in my rod holder for my rod, and I went, "Oh, where's my rod?" I looked back down that tunnel of grasses.
Death.
And there it was. It got hung up. It was probably being held there by a cottonmouth.
Yeah. I would have left it.
Had to go back for
That's
it.
it.
You would have left
This is good
it.
fisherman
Please.
day.
You'd have went back for 2 Ned rigs.
I don't know about that, but
Anyway,
anyway,
I digress.
I don't want to keep talking about cobia, but I could.
I've said all I could. I don't catch them.
Have you ever caught one?
No. I tried for
We gotta-
years,
we
and
gotta go on
I
a
would go
cobia
on a
trip.
Saturday.
Yeah.
And then they boat like 11 the next day.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
I've heard of people catching them when there's stingrays around for some reason. Have you heard
Yeah,
that too?
yeah.
I don't understand why, but
I
like,
don't. They might
they follow
coexist very
rays
well or something.
like that.
What's the coolest thing you've ever seen one of the heroes boat?
I'd like to say a smile, but that's getting old.
That's why I changed the question up.
Yeah. Oh, they caught some nice trout out of when we were at Redmond.
Oh, Lake Redmond? Yeah.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, because York Water shuts down their public facility to us.
Yeah.
Or their employee facility, and they let us go in there. And, man, yeah, they were getting some nice little rainbow trout underneath the bridge. That's probably the coolest thing, because typically where we fish is mainly bass, largemouth.
Yeah.
Sure.
Or smallmouth when we go, like, up to Shikshinny.
Cool. So for somebody that's interested in getting into kayak fishing, can you give them some advice on how to get started?
Demo
Where
every
do you
boat.
do that? How do you do
all right,
that?
so a great supporter of us is Shanks Mare down in Wrightsville, and I'm
Okay.
talking great supporter.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to list these in any particular order,
Yeah.
okay? There's Shanks Mare.
Except for there's going to be a very specific order.
Except the best are first. And
but the guys, Devin down there at Shanks Mare, awesome. Delaware Paddle Sports.
Yeah.
You got Blue Mountain Outfitters. You've got Five Mountain. Five Mountain Outfitters is up there in Shikshinny. You've got
And
these Stark Moon, I think, down Peach
Yeah.
Bottom area.
and these
Sounds
guys will
something like
let you rent a boat and
A demo days.
A demo day. Yeah, you can call them up and
why didn't I
say,
do that?
I'll tell you why.
I don't know.
You're cheating.
Oh.
Every week you hang out with a couple of guys that can give you a demo day. whenever
Yard
you're
sale
available.
kayaks are around.
Yeah, and if you're really hesitant,
Yeah.
the Ascend for Bass Pro Shop have a nice
I got
seat.
2 of them.
Have a nice seat. They're a nice kayak. They're wide. They're stable.
Yeah.
I mean, they're heavy. I mean, I can't say anything. I got the Pro Angler 14, and empty hull is
Yeah, why are you
135
talking?
pounds.
Sounds like
How
You
much?
know, 135.
There's
I
no
trailer it.
reason for that.
Yeah, there is.
He's lecturing you now.
Yeah, okay.
What was, Will had one that was 13 foot long, and we carry it. And I think I have some long term like muscle pulls, hernia and stuff from just moving it
Dragging that.
one time, from the bank to the truck. Like, why does a kayak need to be so? That's a great point. Why does a kayak need to be that heavy? Or what
Well,
makes
it's-
a
you
heavier
look at-
kayak better? I guess is probably a better way to ask that.
It floats.
What makes a rainbow good? You know what I mean? What makes
The
trees-
unicorns at the end.
Roy G. Biv.
No, it's just it's so wide.
Okay.
That's I think I'm at 36 inches wide. Or
That's
38.
wide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good night.
Yeah.
That's
I can
wider
set
than
my
your
hog
mom.
trough
Yeah.
straight across inside the gunnels.
Yeah.
So
And correct me if I'm wrong. I think the heavier the kayak, the more capacity it'll hold. So you can bring a cooler, and you can
the
Yes, no?
capacity is all about displacement.
bring. Okay.
Your
All right.
your hull displacement and width and
Oh
and
yeah.
So
Okay.
If Stevie brought a cooler on board and stuff, then he would be running a submarine on his boat.
the Ascend, SS Ascend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because
So-
it's not. Yeah, it is about displacement for sure. Yeah, I like it.
I've always said that.
I'm a bigger dude. I like a bigger, wider kayak. I feel better.
Yeah.
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 Yep, I feel very confident in the Hobie. I do.
Yeah.
I stand up and fish, but I wouldn't do that in the old. Well, I sink the Wilderness System rides that I have, the 2 original ones that we talked about earlier. Yeah. Oh yeah. They're. It's one of the old models that has the big scupper right in the center of the deck.
Oh yeah.
And one time we were fishing the concrete ships. Have you guys ever seen that at? I think it's Chick-to-Tink or something, state park down on the eastern shore.
No.
We need to find that.
Yeah.
Concrete ships?
Yeah.
They don't
Roosevelt.
float too well, do they?
Well, these ones don't because they got it's about displacement.
I heard that.
So, they put holes in the side and sunk them there as a reef, a barrier type of reef, and I was, I don't know. I'd been kayak fishing 2 or 3 years or whatever, and I'm over there and I'm watching this guy go inside of it, and then come to find out it was Kevin Whitley, Kayak Kevin.
Kevin.
Yeah,
No
he's
kidding.
pretty well known.
Yeah.
And I said, all right, I'm going to do that. Oh, my God. It's like, you know what a top load washer looks like when it's washing? How it's going?
Yeah.
That's what it looks like and feels like inside one of those ships because you're in something about like 35, 40 feet wide. And it's like you're just going every which way.
Yeah.
And I broke off twice and I said, I'm done.
Right.
And he was pulling I think he was pulling triple tails out of there.
Oh, yeah?
Huh.
Yeah, I
another
gave it. He's got
bucket list
skills.
fish.
He really does. He's got more skills than I do. And then anything else, like a lot of times I'll compare it to archery hunting because I did a lot of archery hunting when I was younger. And archery hunting what works for you might not work for me, and what works for me might only work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's
It's very individualized.
It is.
Everybody's got their own.
Yeah, and like placement of the
preference.
gear, the Yak Attack gear, or anything else. When you go and cut stuff up and cut holes in that $1,500 kayak, you do more than cringe. You're like, I hope this is in the right spot.
Yeah.
It's very personal.
Yeah, it is. So the number one thing, demo days, make sure it floats. And getting on the water and just enjoying it.
So, the cool thing with Hobie is that you can pretty much out of the box.
Everything from the name afterwards, cool.
Yeah, modify. Exactly.
Oh, man.
You can modify it from the factory.
In no particular order.
Whatever you need, they have something for that boat.
Yeah.
And that's one of the few companies that there's a handful of companies that do that or think that forward. But how modified is your boat? Is it? You spend
I say it's about average.
Yeah.
You guys might say it's a little excessive.
Yeah. Well, everybody's
You know what I
different.
mean?
Yeah, that's why I asked.
So when you go out fishing, how many rods?
I take
do you
5.
5 rods. Okay, and you have a
Those
rod
kayaks,
holder.
for people that don't know, have rod holders built into the boat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got the pro anglers have 3 in the hull,
Okay,
2 right here,
right.
and then of course my milk crate that I had from day one with the triple rod holder
Yeah.
on it. So typically I put 3 in the back, 1 up front with me, and then just shove 1 somewhere else where it's out of the way. I don't typically put a rod behind me on my right hand side because I'm casting that way.
Okay,
I'll put them on this side, in a Zuka tube or something.
right.
Then I got my fish finder, lunch, of course, to maintain this figure.
Yeah.
Gots to.
See, now there's a time I would have said that 5 rods would be excessive, but then I met Stevie, so I'm like, that is about average. Sounds about right.
Well, I
If
don't
you're
know.
only
All right.
targeting trout for that.
You need,
day.
5
you need
rods.
5.
You need 5
for
rods
that.
is good
5
for
different
trout.
color cast masters.
Bingo.
You need a Palomino rod.
You mean golden trout, bud?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Jeez. Golden
Learn
rainbow.
nothing from our trout month.
Whatever you want to put on it, you put on it.
Yeah.
There's nothing that won't. If it works for you, like I said, if it works
Yeah.
for you, don't let somebody. I hate it when guys tell, like some of the side conversations that I'm not involved in because I am a Hobie owner.
Mm-hmm.
Other people will sit there, especially pro staffers, will sit there and tell other people, "Don't get a Hobie because you can't use it on the river." Well, 3 days out of the week, I'll tell you can, because
Right.
that's typically before last summer. I'd fish 3 days out of the week on the river.
Nice.
Right? Oh, you don't want to take your Hobie to Liverpool? Man, that's like one of my favorite places. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what are you
Really?
talking about, buddy?
That's one of our favorite places too, isn't it, Will?
That's our wet wading spots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, all right. So I can't do a lot of wading. I'd gotten hurt a little bit in the Navy, so this seat in the Hobie was my key thing.
That's
right?
what happens when you reject admirals and colonels. And
You get hurt.
Yeah, that'll teach you.
Yeah, so I mean, that's one thing. After what you look for is you look for price because not everybody can afford everything.
Mm-hmm.
Then you look for if you're a heavier guy like us, right?
Right.
You look for capacity.
Hey, comrade.
Then you look for comfort.
Austin, we've won.
Oh, yay, smashing capitalism.
Because if it's not comfortable, you're not going to want to go.
Yeah.
All our kayaks for Heroes on the Water are all Jacksons.
Yeah,
Every single one.
They're nice boats.
Well, we've got one top water in there from Old Town, but everything else, Jackson Tuna, Jackson Cruise, Cuda, the big
nice
tunas.
boats.
So
they can get out there and, like you said, 4 or 5 hours if they want to, and they're going to be
and they come back amazed that they're
Yeah.
not sore and
Yeah.
stiff, because there's good thigh relief in those seats,
Mm-hmm.
and that's important. And nobody wants to do something that they're uncomfortable with, or
Right.
uncomfortable doing
Very
it.
true. Very
Right.
true.
Adam, we're running out of time here. At the
Stop
end of the
it.
show.
You brought him in here.
I'm sorry.
Being
It's
rude.
only an hour show. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to do. We're at the
Always
point of the
pulling
show.
the reins back.
Yeah. Where we call this our Fast Five. So we're going to ask you 5 questions, and you just kind of rattle off the first answer that comes to mind.
The first honest answer that comes to mind.
There are
No,
no
the first
wrong
answer.
answers. There are no wrong answers.
Don't wait for the honest one.
Yeah, you're
It's
a
a fast
fisherman,
five.
so
Yeah. No.
We don't have that kind of time.
Bingo. All right. So I'm going to start this off again. Just first
So there's
answer.
4
that
of
comes
you.
to
Who
mind.
gets to ask the 5th one? Me?
Stevie.
All right.
yeah, it's your own
He gets
question.
two. Maybe we should let you make one up. We could try that.
I like me some me.
All right. Question number 1, Adam. What are you most proud of?
In life,
Yeah.
being
Just-
a dad.
Being a dad.
Cool. Very cool.
All right, Adam. Number 2, what is the one thing that you can't live without in the outdoors?
Probably fishing gear.
Fishing gear.
I heard
I,
that.
I
Safe.
think. I think
Very
in
safe
the
answer.
outdoors. I mean,
like it.
I didn't go forge my own knife, so I feel a little in that. Some of my manhood isn't as much as this table.
Yeah.
So
I've got a couple if you need one.
Oh, boy.
Number 1, we know a guy, and Pick actually made one for his kayak. Like he made a knife design for his fishing. needs.
like the PFD knife.
Well, I'm gonna I have one on my PFD, but I plan on getting
Why?
a sheet. Why?
Yeah.
Because it looks,
I don't
looks
understand
cool.
that. Yeah, it looks cool. Exactly. It looks cool.
There's
when
a spot for an.
you're standing there holding your arms up on top of your PFD like this, and you got the knife hanging. I don't. That's for scuba divers.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you scuba diving?
Hopefully not.
Okay.
But yeah, if I need one, I know where it's at.
Yeah. Sorry.
Awesome. No. But anyway, yeah, we know a guy for knife making.
Number 3.
Number 3. What makes you happy? What makes you smile?
That's a good question. Spin it back on him.
I did.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Catching fish. I don't have to. If I go just catching fish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't care if I
Yeah.
catch a pile of 10-inch or 12-inch fish.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not. It size
so
doesn't
do.
matter in this game.
Just catching them.
Where's
Just catching. Yeah.
Stevie
So,
normally says, "I hear that."
You
I
know
heard
it.
that.
Drop the ball on that one, bud.
Sorry.
All right, Adam. Number 4 then.
Number 4.
What's one thing you do every day to prepare for your outdoor lifestyle?
Prepare for the outdoors.
That's actually kind of a good question. I work in agriculture, right?
Yeah.
So manure storage is a very important. Stream crossing, stream bank fencing.
Yes? A little rip-rap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we don't do. I do that too, but not enough to say I do it. But like manure storages are important because of the land application in the wrong time because they don't have the storage to hold it until it is the right
You
time.
get the runoff.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
So
bad news.
that kind of, and then that's how I got connected with Chesapeake Bay Foundation is through both my job and Heroes on the Water.
Okay.
Cool.
So, yeah, but no, just my work, I believe, helps. You see water quality has improved in the last, I don't know, for you guys, 10, maybe 12 years? It's definitely improved.
Yes.
And that's from practices that my agency does. Well, I won't say just my agency.
In conjunction with some other agencies in the area. But yeah,
the conservation districts or DEP or DCNR.
Yeah. The Chesapeake Bay watershed has seen significant improvement over the years.
Yep.
Very cool. Very
So,
cool.
so I mean, I would say my daily job at,
And we appreciate that. So
That's
thank
cool.
you.
No.
Yeah. Number 5. What is your bucket list kayak fishing trip? Time and money
Snook.
are not enough.
Something
Snook.
simple
That
like
was
snook.
easy.
That's
Really?
it. Snook is up
Where
there.
where is you? Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't need to go catch. I like to catch a lot of fish. Size doesn't matter. And to me, I've been told that snook is considered kind of a trash fish down there, but it's top of my bucket list.
Oh, no, they love it. Yeah.
That's a good answer.
Yeah,
Cool.
Next fish would be a peacock bass.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
we know some guys.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get you set up with that. That'd be epic with kayaks.
Mm-hmm. That would.
Stevie.
Yeah.
Land this plane, bud.
Adam, thank you for spending some time with us this evening. Thank you for your service in the military.
Absolutely.
Thank you for what you're doing with Heroes on the Water. That's a great organization. If people want to learn more about that, help, donate, sign up for one of the events,
Volunteer,
participate.
sure.
Yeah. How do they do that?
All right, to sign up or participate or volunteer, you go to our Facebook page, the Heroes on the Water of Central Pennsylvania.
Okay.
To donate, you could come to an event. We do take donations at the event or at fish and flea markets, or get on the main page for heroesonthewater.org.
Okay.
And they can hit the PayPal button or get an address to send a check to.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And when is your chapter's next event? Just for
our chapter's next event is July 27th, where we're going to go up to Shikshini with 5 Mountain Outfitters.
Okay.
That's going to be a river float. That portion of the river is good that I would entertain a 10-year-old kid going on it.
Okay.
So we don't really limit it that bad up there.
Right.
Brian Swingle up there with 5 Mountain Outfitters, he's a great supporter.
Okay.
Great.
Cool.
Great.
How long is the float?
I think this one is 3.5 to 5 miles long. Okay, but it's not. When you float, we don't float. We don't just get in the current and go. We're gonna fish structure. We're gonna fish banks. I did a tournament in Bloomsburg. It was 12 miles straight line. I think I had 19 miles by the time I got back to the that night.
Yeah.
Wow.
3 to 5 miles for me usually takes about 7 to 8 hours to fish.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're stopping and fishing and anchoring up and
You look, you like, oh man, that looks fishy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You hook onto one and you're there for the next 30 minutes.
Yeah. You see something rise, you're there for 20 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah. It takes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's a thorough fishing trip. It can be.
Cool.
All right, guys. Remember, every episode during July is brought to you in part by Moses Family Jerky. Head on over to mfjerky.com. Use
Go
coupon
to
code.
mfjerky.com.
Yeah, do it. Use coupon code JerkyPursuits15 for 15% off all the jerky, snack sticks, and coffee you can slam in that cart.
You could purchase
Everything
everything
on the site.
Whole website.
Eat as much as you pay for.
Mm-hmm.
Checks out, bud.
It checks out.
Do the math later.
I got that.
Love that jerky.
Hey, Pick Diesel.
Yes, Stevie.
Where can they find us?
They can find us at any of your social outlets, such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Rutten River Pursuits. They can find us at RuttenRiverPursuits.com, and they can download any episode they want on
Sure they could.
Apple Podcasts, Spotify,
Mm-hmm.
and iHeartRadio.
I heart those radios.
I heart them too. I'm pretty happy with them.
That's a week.
That is a week.
You know it, bud. That was a great week.
Also, this is the part where we typically say, hang on the line, but since you're here, we'd like to send you off with some Charlie Moore Spices. Our good friend Charlie Moore.
Mr. Charlie
TV's
Moore.
Mad Fisherman.
He hooked us up with a 4-pack of spices
Ooh-wee.
for our guests during the All Americans month of July.
Oh, Adam, you're going to like these.
And
I'm already getting curious. Yeah.
They're made from the best spices on earth. No offense.
No offense.
Hey.
Just go to shopmadfish.com if you want to check them out for yourself.
We're sending a whole pile home with Adam. Love it.
All right.
All right, guys.
Good show, boys.
Yes.
Well done.
Ring 'em weightless.
Get outdoors.
Yeah, and I mean, because I look at you guys, and the 8 or 9 of you guys impress me a lot. You know, because I first
Stop
ran.
it.
Okay.
Will you?
You know,
No, go on.
you guys. Yeah, I mean, I met you guys first at the outdoor show when I was working the Hobie booth. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
You know, cobia fishing. But
Oh, man.
I
Where's
tried
that?
for 4.5 years for cobia. I never caught it. We would be out there with a 4/0 circle hook, 8/0 circle hook. I end up with a 12, 14-inch croaker. So that was ended up being my name, was Captain Croaker on all the message boards down there. So, yeah, you want to catch croaker, let's go. I got it.
That's
But-
perfect.
And finally, I'm like, why am I getting all this stuff? And they're like, are you going to submarines? I said, no, I want to learn about submarines. Well, you're going to learn about them now. I mean, you ain't got no choice.
No way.
Yeah.
You're going to learn a whole lot about
That
it.
was
Yeah.
a loaded question.
Yep. This is so and so from such and such florist, and I got a bouquet of flowers for you. Who's sending me flowers? I said I can't tell you.
Uncle Sam,
yeah,
that's
Uncle
who.
Sam. Knock. So I said, "Are you going to be there long? Because I want to make this delivery."
Better
then
wear
I
your
called the
dress
police
blues.
department, and then they'll go by and pick it up.
Really? That's how it
Yeah.
works.
He'd take
Yeah.
the flowers to him.
Yeah.
Uncle Sam, that's. Oh, Stevie.
America.
Yeah. America, that's who.